Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about inheritance in Python. Inheritance allows us to create new classes that inherit from existing classes, giving them the ability to utilize methods and object variables from the class they inherit from. The inheriting class is known as the child class, and the class that the child class inherits from is known as the parent class. They are also referred to as the derived and base class respectively. One of the most important benefits of inheritance is code reusability. Say we need to make a class that has the same features as an existing one, but also needs additional methods and features added that are unique to the new class. By writing the new class to inherit from the existing one, we can avoid rewriting a bunch of code that already exists and simply add the new code to the child class. However, that doesn't mean we can't take existing methods from a parent class and redefine them in the child class. Sometimes that method needs to be changed in order to work with that child class specifically. The parent-child class relationship isn't a strict one-to-one relationship either. Parent classes can have as many child classes as needed, and child classes can inherit from multiple parents. We can also create classes to inherit from other child classes. And when we do this, a child class that has another child class as a parent will also inherit from that child class's parent as well. A really good applicable example of inheritance would be game development. Things like monsters, NPCs, items, and stuff like that, those are all managed by classes that use inheritance. So the code demonstrations that I'm going to show in this video, we're going to use items that you would find in an adventure game to show how inheritance works. This is just going to be a very basic example, however, so it's not going to be exactly how items are managed inside of a video game. All right, so here we have our first class item. This is at the top of the item inheritance hierarchy that we are about to build here. And it's got a handful of variables here, and these variables are actually values that would be shared across all items, regardless of what they might be, whether it's armor, weapons, regular items, quest items, whatever else you can think of. They all, at the very least, have these characteristics: a name, description, the value, their rarity, a count, maybe even a weight if that's something you want to implement into your game. And then at the end here, we just have a message that prints out, hey, this item was created. All of our constructors for these classes here are going to have that message. You don't have to put that message there. I'm putting these messages here for the sake of the example that we run at the end. So let's create our first class that will inherit from item, which is going to be equipment. So to inherit from a class, we start off with a normal class declaration. Then, if you recall in classes part 1, I mentioned that there could be parentheses at the end of a class declaration. That's for inheritance. So we're going to open up a pair of parentheses, and then inside, I'm going to put item. And when it comes to multiple inheritance, you can basically just put multiple classes in here. It would just be comma separated. So let's say we had another parent class that would provide methods for enchantable items. Maybe we had a parent class called enchantable. So you would just put it in there like that. And then we could call upon methods that would be inside the enchantable parent class. But for now, we're just inheriting from item. Okay, next we have our init method. And as you can see here, it's almost the same as the item class, except we now have an additional variable that we pass in called slot. A slot will be like, can it be equipped on the head? Is it a chest piece? Is it an arm thing? Is it for your legs, your feet? Or is it for your hands, for like weapons or something? What equipment slot can we put it into? The reason we have to include the rest of these in here too is because we have to be able to pass those into the parent class. So when you're calling upon the equipment class or calling upon whatever class might inherit from the equipment class, you have to be able to pass in the information that its parent classes need in order to create themselves. So we still have to pass in the same information into the init method. And the first thing we're going to do in this init method is call on our parent class. Now there are two ways to do this. I'm going to show the first way with equipment, and I'm going to show the other way with the classes that will inherit from equipment. Now the first way is that we call the parent class directly. So we say item dot init, and the first thing we're going to pass in is self. So we're taking the value of this self and we're passing it into here directly into init. And then we pass in the variables that the item class is expecting that we pass in through equipment as well. Name, description, value, rarity, and count. And that's one way that you can call the parent class. And then we assign the equipment slot variable within the equipment method. Then I'm going to add a print message here. And there you go. That's how we make the init method for a class that inherits from another class. And just to give equipment its own method for it to call upon that would make it a little bit more different than the item class, we're just going to say equip. And it's just going to print out a message. Equipped self.name to self.slot. And there you go. There's our equipment class. Next up is our armor class, which is going to inherit from equipment. And we're adding an additional variable to the init method here. So in addition to name, description, value, rarity, count, and slot, we now have defense. So now I'm going to show you the other way that we can call upon our parent class, and that is through a function called super. There are a couple ways that we can call upon super. I'm just going to show two. The first way I'm going to show you is usually how most people call it, including me, simply because it's simpler, takes up less characters, and it can handle multiple inheritance. So the primary way most people call super, it's simply super, open close parentheses, nothing inside, dot init, and then we just start passing in the variables that we have here, except for defense, because that's going to be handled inside armor. So we're going to pass in the rest here, but defense will be handled down here. So name, description, value, rarity, count, and slot. And that's how you do it. Self.defense. And then our print message, of course. There we go. And like equipment, we'll give it a simple method unique to itself. We'll say get defense. And have it return the value defense. And there's our armor class. And now we have our weapon class, which also inherits from equipment. So now I'm going to show you another way to call super. So it's super, open close parentheses, weapon. We pass in the class name of our class here. And to be clear, we're passing in the class name of the object we're trying to create, not the class name that we're inheriting from. So it should be weapon. And then we pass in self as the second argument, then dot init, and then just like before, just pass in the variables that go to the parent class. And that's the other way to call super. It honestly is not that much different, and doing it this way is essentially the same as doing it this way when you're just inheriting from one class. It's essentially more of a shorthand way to do it this way. And most people would prefer to do it this way, especially since if you have multiple inheritance, then that single super call will take care of it. Honestly, this is the better way to do it. I prefer this way. It's cleaner, shorter. I just like it overall. All right, and then self.damage equals damage. Print created weapon object self.name. And then we'll give this a method of its own. We'll just call it attack. Return self.damage. All right, we've got all of our classes. So give me a moment to set up the example, and then I'll walk you guys through the example real quick, and then we'll run it and walk through the results. All right, so we have our example ready. Don't mind all the print statements. That's just to make it so it's easier to read when we go through the results. So this first part, we're creating 4 different objects, 2 armor objects, a weapon object, and an item object. And that's to show you that even though the item object, for the most part, it does seem like it's nothing more than to contain some data values and to just act as a parent for equipment, we could still very much use it to create objects in the game. Stuff like junk items that could be scrapped or salvaged, or items that serve as ingredients that would be used in a blueprint or something. Those can just be used by the item class. And then after we create them, we have the armor and weapon objects call the equip method from the equipment class that they inherit from, because they should have access to that if they're inheriting from equipment. And then we'll call the armor and weapons specific functions that they have, which is get defense for the armor and attack for the weapon. And then finally, we've got this for loop here, which is basically just going to loop through all the objects we created and print out all their information. And then down here, it's going to showcase a function that we have that we can use with objects, which is called isInstance. What isInstance does is that we pass in the object we want to check, followed by the class that we're checking it against. And it's basically saying, hey, are you an object made by this class? And this works for objects of inheritance as well, because we can basically say, hey, are you an object of this class, or are you at the very least an object of a class that inherited from this class? So when we get to the armors and weapons and it checks to see if we're an instance of equipment, it's going to return true because they inherit from equipment. Therefore, they are technically an instance of the equipment. So when we get to item first, it's just going to print out this stuff, but it's going to see down here that it's not an instance of any of these things. So it's going to skip over them. But then when it gets to armor, it's going to say, yes, you're an instance of equipment. Yes, you're an instance of armor. No, you're not an instance of weapon. So it will print out these two messages here, but skip this one. And then when it gets to weapon, it will say, yes, you're equipment, and then print out this message. No, you're not armor. So it will skip this. And it'll say, yes, you are a weapon, and it will print out this. So let's go ahead and run the code and see the results. So the first part here, we've created our objects and it's printing out the messages from the init methods, and it's being printed out in the order of parent, then child first. So it's the topmost parent item, then the child/parent equipment, and then the child armor, and then weapon, of course, as well. And then these messages are from us calling the equip method for the armor and weapon objects. And then down here, we're calling armor's get defense and weapons attack method. And then finally, we've got our list of items here that's printing out all the information. We've got the name, the description, the value, the rarity, the count. And then for the two armor pieces, we've also got slot and defense. And then for weapon, we've got slot and damage. And that's pretty much it. One other thing I wanted to mention about super that I totally forgot about is that super is not restricted to just the init method. You can actually call super from anywhere within a child class. So for example here, I add a method called equip to weapon. I add a message here to add something unique to it, so that's unique from the equipment call. Just to keep things simple, I just have a message that says checking weapon skill. Then we can call the equipment version of equip by saying super.equip. So because of that, when we run this code again, when we call the weapon equip, it will call this one instead of calling the equipment equip. And as you can see right here, it says checking weapon skill, which is a message from the weapon version of equip. And then it says equipped iron sword to weapon, which is the message that gets printed out when the equipment equip is being called. So it calls both of them. So super is not limited to the init method. It can be used in any method of a child class to call upon a parent's method. So this basically allows us to provide a little bit more functionality without fully rewriting the same type of code. So we can just add a little bit of extra code that's unique to the weapon class or the armor class or whatever you might be building. And then once that's all done, then you can just call the original function from the parent class using super, and then it still pretty much does all the same stuff. And you didn't have to write the same code all over again just to do that. And that's it for class inheritance in Python. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and if you did, then please hit the like button and leave a comment below to let me know what you think. And if you want to see more, head on over to Wayfair Coding Academy channel to check out my other content. And while you're there, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on new stuff as it comes out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.